Hello and welcome to a very fun video. I will be unboxing my new harp today and I am super duper excited. As you can see, I've got my big box here. I've been waiting all day for it to come and I just can't wait to open it. So I wanted to have a video of this to document it, and if anyone is interested in this type of harp, you can see what it looks like and kind of get my first thoughts on it. So here we go. And I've got my husband Brett here helping behind the camera. So this is a Rees Harps is the maker, and it is their Grand Harpsicle. So you might have heard of harpsicles before. This is just a bigger model. Oh boy, do you see all the peanuts? Oh man. Ooh. Okay, you can see the outline. Oh, it feels like it's in its case. I ordered a case with it. They don't come with a case, you have to buy one, but I figured I needed a case for it. This is the stand that it comes with to go on. So Grand Harpsicles come with a stand because they can be a floor harp or a like traveling carrying harp. Should we open the little stuff first? Keep the suspense going. Okay, so here it is, the tuner. And then let's just get the harp out and then we'll worry about the bass. Okay, here we go. Where does it begin? Where does it end? Again, it's inside a case in this, so the reveal will be when the case comes off. This is kind of needing to get through this first. I feel like it's Christmas. Brett's gonna give me his very fancy pocket knife. The reason why I wanted to get a harpsicle, as you can see, I've got two other harps here, and I also have a small Celtic harp in the corner that is not my favorite. It's not great quality. I just kind of got it for fun. But I decided I wanted a lightweight travel harp that I could take with me pretty much wherever I wanted to go. It could fit in a case that could be carried on my back instead of like wheeled on the ground, and just be more versatile and have more opportunities to take it places. All right, here's the case. All right, here it is. They have custom cases with it that's specially made for it. I'm gonna try picking it up. Tell you how heavy it is. All right, so this harp is 12 pounds, 13 pounds. And so the case, as you can see, I mean, I'm not a super strong person, but it is not that heavy. I could carry it just fine. So here we go. We are opening it. Oh, and the case looks like, before we get to the reveal, it looks like the case has some good little pockets. So you could put like music in this pocket and like your tuner and stuff in this pocket. So that's cool. It's like waterproof and everything. It's like a shiny kind of material. Okay, here she is. Oh my goodness. Look. Gotta show it off. It's so light compared to many other harps that I've seen that are this size. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So this one is a cherry wood harp. I love the color. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can see it's got, so 2 C's below middle C is how low it goes. We've got 2 C's above middle C. And then it actually has bass wires, so wrapped bass instead of where it just ends at the gut. So I think the regular harpsicles, not the grand harpsicles or like the full-sicles in the different models, they end at this C. So this one has an octave below, so it's got extra strings than that. Awesome, so you can see the levers. Let's see how they work. They move nice and smooth. Just a little bit of sound, but I feel like that's normal. And then they also wrap these strings down here. So this is our middle C. It's probably a little bit out of tune from the shipping, but so here's our middle C, and they actually have these ones wrapped down here, not in wire, but it's in like some extra wrapping. I have to look up what that is. Because on just like my regular lever harp and pedal harp, these aren't wrapped with anything. They're just normal gut strings. So maybe this is like nylon wrapped or something. I'll have to look. Here's the other side. I really like this little racing stripe that's on the top. That's so cool. And I like this little lip thing too. I don't think the regular harpsicles have that. I think it's just the larger sizes that have that little extra design. These? This. Oh, so this is for a guitar strap. I don't have a guitar strap, but I'm going to be getting one. Maybe I'll put that in this video too. But you can actually use a regular guitar strap with them. And so you can attach it to your body and carry like this. And it's actually not that heavy. And even though I'm kind of short, this is about like 3 feet tall. I feel like I could play it pretty normally. We'll have to have like a demo video of how that looks. But that's a good question. And then it also, this right here is a pickup. So the harpsicles, I'm pretty sure all of the harpsicle brands come with a pickup built into it. So I don't know if you can see, but it's like a battery operated one that you just charge up. And so it has a built-in microphone inside of it. So it is like electroacoustic because you can play it without amplification, and it sounds like, you know, regular harpsicle, full-sicle, grand harpsicle harp, but then you can also plug it in. So I'm also going to be doing a demonstration later in this video of how it sounds once it's all tuned up and everything, how it sounds both plugged in and not amplified. But let me just give it a little run. It's probably going to be really out of tune, so let's see. So I really like harpsicles because they're actually, in my opinion, they sound a lot more resonant than they look. So that little tiny dinky harp I have in the corner does not sound, it sounds like a toy or like a music box. It does not sound good. And it was like $200 online. They're notoriously not great quality. I had to like do a bunch of work on mine, like moving the levers where they should be. I had to like unscrew them and everything. Anyways, so this soundboard isn't that much wider than that little harp in the corner, but I just think it just sounds so much better. Don't you think so?
Yeah, that
Brett?
sounds really cool.
Yeah, I am so excited about the resonance of this, because that was one of the main things I wanted. I was thinking about getting just an electric harp, like the Salvi Delta is really cool. Everybody is, you know, getting those these days, and I think those are really neat, but I also wanted one that I could take and play without having to plug it in, whether it was I just wanted to take it somewhere to play for myself, because those like electric only harps are kind of like an electric guitar in that they don't really, they're not built to have any kind of resonance outside of being plugged in. So like with an electric guitar or an electric bass, when you pluck the strings, they just don't really sound like much, and they're not meant to. So for those, like you'll see their soundboards are like super thin because they're not designed to have resonance. So the resonance is what the soundboard produces. The sound is created by the strings, and it reverberates around inside of the sound box, and that's what creates like the tone. So electric only harps aren't meant to have that on their own. They're meant to be plugged in. So I wanted something that could do both, but that was just as lightweight as an electric harp, which I think the Salvi Delta is about the same weight as this, maybe a little less. When I was looking up what harp I wanted to get, I was kind of comparing comparing everything, and this one is what had all of the things that I wanted. So I'm super excited. Should we see how it goes on the little stand?
Yeah, what are the different ways you can stand, and like how can you play the harp? Because you mentioned the guitar strap, but how else can you play it?
Good question. So there's the stand that came with it that will open up in a second. And there you can do guitar strap. And then they also have these like tall metal stands that you can buy off their website. I was gonna get one with this, but they were out of stock for them, and it was gonna take like another 3 weeks to get them in. And I was like, no, I want it now. So I'm gonna order one of those later. But basically those let you, you just put it on this stand, kind of like a metal music stand type looking thing. And it lets you stand and play it without having it like attached to your body. So those are cool. I definitely want one of those. And then I think with smaller harpsicle harps, not the grand ones, they also have like a lap bar that you can attach them to. This one I don't think would fit on that because it's too big. But this stand will make it like a floor harp, kind of like how my troubadour is. Right now there's nothing keeping it up, so like if I put it on the floor, there's nothing to hold it up. So let's go ahead and get the floor stand out. All right, this is cool. This came with it, so you don't have to pay extra for these for the grand harpsicles. So let's find the hole. See the hole there? Let's get this through first. And it matches. It even has the little stripes. Oh, it's so cute. All right. So there's that. We're just gonna... That's really easy. I thought it would be more involved, but you just really screwed in just like that. You don't even need a screwdriver or anything. Okay, so here it is standing on its own. It's so cute. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna see how it would go with like a bench. Let's see. Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh, it's so light. It feels weird to lean it back because I'm used to like heavier harps leaning back like this.
How solid does it feel on the, like with that stand?
It feels good. I mean, it's hard because my rug is kind of fluffy. I'll go put it on just the regular carpet. Yeah, I mean, it's as wobbly as like a normal floor harp would be, because any harp is made to tip back. So you'd want to just be just as careful with it as any harp standing by its own. Whenever I take my harps to gigs, I don't leave them standing like uncovered, unattended for that reason, just because someone could walk by and bump it, and they're made to tip over because that's what they're supposed to do. But this feels about as maybe to side is just a little bit more wobbly than like this would be. Actually, I guess this is kind of wobbly too. I've never really wobbled my harp from side to side. But as far as like the tippiness goes, it feels, yeah, it's like you give the same amount of pressure. I mean, obviously since it's lighter, it's gonna take a little bit less pressure to tip over, but I think it's proportionate to the amount of tipping that this one would have. So this harp is 38 pounds. This one's 13 pounds. And to me, the tipping feels proportional for this stand. So I'm happy with it. I think that is gonna work great with the stand. And the stand doesn't really give that much extra weight either. And I wish you could feel it. You can't feel it through the video, but like this column is like solid wood. Like it's solid. And the neck is solid. So I have no doubt about the craftsmanship. I'm super happy with it. I think it's worth the price. Some of my students have had harpsicles or fulsicles, so I was kind of familiar with the brand before getting this harp, and I felt confident from just like handling their smaller ones that it was good quality. And even the ones that are smaller than this still have better resonance than a lot of the little flap harps that I've seen. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm super duper excited and ready to take it out into the wilderness. I am really looking forward to being able to offer some different kinds of things for my events, different things that I can accommodate now that I have a more portable harp. It can go out into nature and it starts raining or something or snowing. I can just put it back into the case really easily. It's not a whole production like it is with these bigger ones. If someone wants to go elope in the mountains and they want a harpist to come with them, but you know, you can't just take a regular giant 85-pound pedal harp into the mountains very easily. I've done that and it's not easy. This makes it a lot easier, and it really has all of the range and capabilities as like this kind of lever harp would. I mean, there's just a couple less strings on this one, but I am very excited and impressed with the things that this will be able to do in half of the weight, or more than half the weight, of my other lever harp. Obviously, since this is also a lever harp, it can't do the things that a pedal harp can do, but it can do all the things that a lever harp can do. I mean, it is a lever harp. It can do all of the things that like a Lion and Healy troubadour, like the one I have, or other large lever harp can do, but it's just way lighter, way more portable. Again, I can't emphasize how light this is. Like, it's so incredibly light. With this harp over here, my lever harp, again, it has the same range, but it is twice the weight. I can still lift it, but I have to like use my leg, like I have to use my body to lift it. Whereas this one, I can just pick it up. I can just pick it up and it's super easy. So yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm gonna get it tuned up, and then I can show a demonstration of how it sounds. I'm really excited to see how it sounds all tuned, plugged in versus not plugged in. Okay, so I also want to give a little tour of the harp as well, close up, because with my initial, unboxing reaction, I was just taking it all in and didn't really get into too many specifics. So here it is next to my other two larger harps. Fits in so cute. I wanted a different finish to kind of complement the other two, so I really love the cherry wood. So as you can see, this column is like solid wood. Like it's very, very sturdy. I don't know if it's solid all the way through. I'm not sure if it is, but it feels very, very sturdy. And then you can see the neck. So something with harpsicles that I actually pointed this out in my harp tuning video is that they wind them a little differently. As you can see, unless you have a harpsicle at home, this probably looks different than from how your strings are wound. And they don't have the tuning pegs on the other side like how, for example, this harp does. They actually have them on the same side as where the strings are attached, which is different. So this is the tuner that mine came with. It's the same kind of wood, it matches. So you actually just hook it on from this side, whereas with other harps you do it from the other side. And then also for tuning with like the harpsicle type harps, you actually turn backwards to tighten and forwards to loosen, which is opposite than what, for example, my Lion and Healy's do. And then you can see this one is fully levered. Grand harpsicles are fully levered. I love the wood grain that you can see, and I love that little dorsal fin thing. It's so cool. I don't know what you'd call it, but it just looks so nice. Here's the soundboard. As you can see, it's pretty wide, so you can see the different types of strings. And once you get down into the lower octaves, these are wrapped, kind of like how I talked about before. It's kind of hard to tell, but they have like a tiny little, you can kind of see here at the top where it's unwinding. And then it's like actual like normal wire strings at the bottom. It's really neat. So I've got it turned around now so you can see the inside in some better lighting. So it actually comes with the strings wound around these little bits of leather, which is interesting. Usually I would use like a string end or a string button by Dusty Strings. And then as you get lower down, the larger strings tie around themselves like normal. And then the wire ones at the bottom are the regular like metal washers, like how they are on regular harps that have wire strings. And you can see the pickup in there. I'm very excited to use it. Here you can see a closer up bit of the bass. That makes it a floor harp. And then here is the pickup where you would plug your 1/4 inch cable in. So comparing this in range to my Lyon & Healy Troubadour, we have our low bass C, which corresponds with this low bass C, and then this one ends on this high G, where my Troubadour has, this is that same high G, so the Troubadour has a couple extra strings, but very impressive for the weight and just like how light and easy it is. Very impressive that there are only 3 less strings than a full-size large lever harp. Okay, so obviously I was super excited when first unboxing it and was mainly focused on the harp, but I wanted to go back and talk a little bit more about the case that it came with and kind of show a little bit more about it. So it looks like it's got a loop up here to like pick it up like as a handle, like pick it up off the ground. And then these are the straps that you would like sling over your shoulder and carry it with. And it's got a Velcro bit like that. So I noticed that it has these buckles on either side, and I wasn't sure what those were for because I didn't see anything that had the other part of the buckle to go into it. But then I checked in the pocket, and it actually also comes with an additional strap. So this is like you would hold it with just like a briefcase, and then this is the one that would go over your shoulder. Then once again, we've got a really roomy big pocket in the front. Goes all the way down to the bottom, or I guess the back of the case. And then there's also a smaller zipper pocket here that goes down that far. Great for putting your tuner inside or what have you. And then there's another strap here on the side that would help, I guess, when you're picking it up off of the floor or out of your car. Here's the other side, so you can see no pockets on this side. And it does have another strap on the back that you can haul it with as well. So we've got a strap here to haul it with. We've got a strap on the back to haul it with. You have your regular handles as well. And then this like side strap to haul it with. And then the extra strap that came with it that you can put on your shoulder. Then as far as the inside goes, it doesn't open all the way for you to like lay it flat on the ground and have it like lay flat open, but this is as far as it goes. The inside is really soft. This is that kind of material is the same as the outside, and it has this squishy, you can see how squishy it is, this padding on the outside, and then this padding by the zipper is also nice and squishy. And then the inside has like a good amount of squishy give as well. So it's very nice and padded up, and it fits it nice and snug. Here you can see the battery little pack that's in there for the pickup. And then as you go down, you can see you've got a little volume control here, which is pretty cool. You can control the volume that your amp is putting out through the mic, and right there is the pickup itself, and you can see the microphone and how it all connects together. And I'm going to be doing a demonstration of how the pickup sounds compared to the harp by itself in different scenarios that I can show you. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the harp and why I got it and why I'm excited about it and stuff. When I was unboxing it earlier, I was kind of all over the place. So I wanted to just like sit down and talk about, I guess, why, I got it and why I'm excited. So I've been wanting a like very portable, lightweight harp for a while, and I've just been doing research on what I wanted and if I wanted to go the electric only route, like how I kind of mentioned earlier, or kind of just what I wanted to do if I wanted to get a full-sicle harpsicle, which is like their small one that has the full levers, or if I wanted to get a size of this one and like when to get it. And I've been saving up for the past while because I knew I wanted to get one of these. And I'm just excited to be able to use this to take it around if I want to go play in like a rest home, hospital setting. I usually have been taking the Troubadour, but it's still just kind of big. And this one, if I want to go, play at a park or at like a yoga class, or if I want to go on a trip, I can take this with me in the car a lot easier. If I want to go off into the mountains, I live in Utah and the mountains are beautiful, and if I just want to, go off and bring my harp with me and have a little, I guess, bard moment, or if I wanted to go to a Ren fair, or if I wanted to play at an elopement, or something like that. That's a big one for me, is lots of people get married or elope here in the mountains or off in one of the national parks like Zion's, and I just think it would be really cool to be able to like have your intimate elopement but also have a harpist there playing for you like as you get married. And just with a regular like concert grand or other large floor harp, it just makes it really hard. Like I said, I have brought my large harp to these kinds of events, not anything like super remote because it just gets impossible just because of how large and heavy and difficult to move it is. I have to move it on a wheeled dolly, and so like the ground that I'm moving it on has to be conducive to that, and so it can just end up just a little bit unsafe and just a huge hassle to bring it to those kinds of things all the time. So this kind of harp, it is the perfect size. It has a great range. It may not have all of the capabilities of a pedal harp, as no lever harps do, but lever harps have a great set of repertoire that you can play on them that's, just as beautiful and just as special for what you need. With this harp, it has full levers, so it has the capabilities that a regular lever harp would have, except it's just twice as light, which is really nice. So I'm just really excited about that, and being able to just put it in a bag and carry it, it's just really cool. So then the story of how I ended up getting it. I'm so excited and so happy that I ended up being able to get it. It's kind of a long story. I'll try to make it short. I saw this exact harp, itself, on the Harpsicle website like probably 6 to 8 months ago. I was just kind of looking around, like I said, when I was doing my like initial research of, I know I want a smaller like travel harp, but what do I want? So I saw this one on their website, and the thing is that a lot of the time the harpsicle makers, they make their harps kind of made to order. So they don't have all of their harps in stock all of the time. And then some of them are even more like special order. And so those ones, they don't usually just have like on hand to be able to ship to you right away. And to make a harpsicle or a grand harpsicle, it's about, I think it said like 10 to 12 weeks from submitting your order to them like building it and shipping it to you. So it's all very like made to order. And I saw this one, and this one was on their page. They have a page where it's like already made, like ready to ship or discounts and stuff like that. This was on that page, and I noticed it and I was like, oh, I haven't seen that color before. It looks really cool. And they had pictures of it, and I was like, that looks like it's a good size, and it had all the specs. and I was really interested in it, but I wasn't ready to buy it. So I was like, okay, that's good to know that they make those and they look like that and they're that big. I didn't really know that they made like the grand harpsicles. I knew about the smaller like lap ones, but I didn't really know about the bigger ones. So I was like, okay, that's good to know. So I kind of just like had the tab open on my phone and was like, okay, that's, you know, keeping it in mind for later. So this one, I guess, was one that had already been made, and I'm not sure what the circumstances were. Maybe they custom made it for someone, but then that person didn't end up buying it, and so they just had it on hand ready to ship out for whatever reason. And there were only like 1 or 2 other ones like that on the website, and like one of them was already out of stock. Not the same type, but like a special like custom type one that they didn't end up selling for whatever reason. So this one was like that too. It was ready to ship. But I wasn't ready to buy it then. Again, this was like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. So I just kind of put it back in the back of my mind, like, okay, that's good to know, keep my eye on it. And then as the months went by, I was starting to get ready to buy the harp that I wanted and kind of get more serious about looking. And I almost, had my money saved up and stuff and was being more serious about it. And I went and I checked on the website, and this one was still in stock. It hadn't been bought yet. And I was like, oh, no one's bought it, and it's been like several months. That's kind of cool. I might think I maybe want that one, maybe. And so, but I wasn't completely ready yet. And so I had the tab open on my phone, and I was like checking it every so often, like to see if it was still there, kind of being like, maybe I want it. So yeah, and so then, more months, weeks went by, and then finally, about like a few weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm ready to buy the harp. And I had up to that point, like with the last couple weeks before then, I had been checking like almost like every other day to see if this one was still here. So I'd been really like keeping my eye on it more seriously, like, well, if it's meant to be, then it'll be there when I'm ready to buy it. And then it was the week that I was gonna buy it, and I had it like in my cart on their website. So I was like, let's go, no one's bought it till now, I'm ready, this one is mine. And so I went to check out, and it said it was out of stock. I had it like in my cart for a week, and someone had bought it, because putting it in your cart doesn't save it, obviously. So it was out of stock. And again, this was the only one of its kind. And I was like, oh no, like it doesn't mean that I couldn't get the same type of harp, but I would have to just wait, 10 to 12 weeks for it to get here. And I was like, oh man, but it's like the beginning of wedding season. I want to be able to like use this for the summer, and in the fall, it's beautiful in Utah in the fall. And I was so sad because it had been bought, and I was like, no. I had told my husband what happened, and I was like crying. I know it was probably kind of much, but I just had my heart set on it. And even though I probably shouldn't have gotten so attached to it, I did. I was so sad when I saw that it had been bought, and I was like, dang it. So I was like, well, I just want to like, I don't know, follow up somehow. And I didn't have any, right to be upset. It's not like I had bought it or reserved it or anything like that. But I was like, I just feel like I should reach out, because the Harpsicle Harp people are awesome. We follow each other on Instagram even before I got this, and they're just really cool. And so I wanted to just reach out and be like, like, dang it, like, how often do you make these? Like, how long do I need to wait, kind of thing? Like, oh, I was so excited. And so I reached out, and I was like, oh, I'm so bummed. Like, I was totally gonna buy this, and it's totally fine. It's like not your guys' fault or anything, obviously. They didn't even know what was going on. They're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing. But I was just kind of like, dang it, I was so excited. And I would like to go about placing a special order for like this same type. How do I go about doing that? I loved this kind of like look and everything for the Grand Harpsicle in this exact color. And so I was gonna, I was shooting to buy it, but obviously didn't work out. And so how do I go about, placing special order so that I can get the same type, and yada yada. And so they were really helpful, and they were, apologetic, even though they didn't need to be. They were like, oh, dang it, like, sorry that happened. That's such a bummer. And it was a bummer, but they were super cool and they were like, yeah, you know, dang it, how that worked out. Here's how you can do a special order. It'll take this long and, you know, all that. And so I was like, okay. And so I had a really busy week that week. I was doing a bunch of performances and rehearsals. And so I was like, after this busy week, I will get around to ordering the harp. Like, you know, what's one more week gonna do? I was already bummed out that it was gonna be so much longer than I had initially, you know, hoped. And so I was like, well, I'll just, after this busy week, I'll sit down and do my order and make sure I have everything that I want and stuff. And then like the day after my busy week was over, I actually got an email from the Harpsicle team, shout out to Melissa, saying that the person who had bought this one actually decided that they didn't want this color and sent it back. And so they had it again. And the Harpsicle team was so nice. They actually reserved the harp for me until I bought it, because it was like a weekend that they had written to me. I think it was like a Saturday morning. So they reserved the harp for me until the weekend was over so that I could go and buy it next. And they were like, well, we just need to, you know, she's shipping it back. We just need to make sure that it's still in good condition before we like officially put it back up for sale. But we'll let you know once it's up for sale and we'll reserve it for you. And so you can buy it as soon as it's like ready to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was a miracle. I was so happy. I'm still like, can't believe that that happened that way. It was just meant to be, I guess. So that is how this harp ended up with me. And I'm so happy. And it's in obviously great condition. They wouldn't have sent it, you know, to me if it had gotten banged up when the other people shipped it back, or, you know, whatever, if anything had happened to it while it was in the other people's care. So I like cannot believe the fortune with that. I am so excited. And I was, you know, I was reserved with the fact to have to wait, you know, the 10 weeks or whatever. And I would have been fine with that. I was, you know, just bummed that it worked out that way. Like, of course it did. Like when I was ready to buy it, it had been bought like, I don't know, like a day or two before. I don't know how long it had been, you know, sitting in my cart while it was already bought. It was just so serendipitous. And I couldn't believe that whole turn of events, it was an emotional roller coaster, all on top of, you know, having a really busy time for me also. So yeah, I ordered it and it just came today. Like it is brand new. I just barely finished tuning it and stuff, and I did the whole unboxing thing, which is just so fun for me. Like I haven't like done that kind of, I guess, video, so it was probably all over the place because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just super excited to be able to use this for all of the fun and cool musical things that I have planned for it. It's just nice to have different harps for different purposes, and I'm just really grateful that it all worked out. And it would have worked out anyway if I had to wait the 10 weeks like I said, but just the fact that the Harpsicle team were so cool with like keeping in touch with me and even, you know, bothering to respond to my little sad initial email that was like, no, you know, what if? So they were just really cool and very responsive with all of the communication back and forth. I had like a lot of questions on, you know, how do special orders work? And then when the initial people who'd bought it sent it back, they were really responsive with me, letting me know that it was ready to go and stuff, and just really, really cool to work with. And I've known that even before I decided to get one of their harps. Like I said, we've, you know, been kind of mutuals on Instagram for a while, and some of my students have harpsicles / fulsicles, and they're just really cool. They're just really cool inventions, you know, having such a lightweight harp with a cool, awesome resonance and having full lever capabilities and stuff like that while still being so portable. Just awesome all around. I can't wait to use it. Yeah, I guess I'll keep you posted on all of the things with it. I think I'm gonna make a separate video about comparing like the sounds of the different sizes of harps. I think that'd be really cool, especially with each of them like being amplified and how each of them sounds amplified. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this kind of different video. I thought it was super fun and have just been so excited ever since I was able to order this. I'm just so grateful it all worked out. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.